Hey everyone, my name is Sara Khalek. I am from Crew Team Utopia, and I'll be discussing the psychological effects of spaceflight. A little bit about me: I graduated with my biomedical engineering degree from Georgia Tech, and I currently work as an engineer and consultant in the medical device industry, among other work that I do. So according to a NASA evidence report that you see source title below, we see that astronauts face overlapping risks while in spaceflight for their psychological well-being. The risks are: 1, adverse cognitive and behavioral conditions and psychiatric disorders that may be as a result of radiation exposure; risk of performance decrements and adverse health outcomes resulting from sleep loss, circadian desynchronization, and work overload; and 3, risk of performance and behavioral health decrements due to inadequate cooperation, coordination, communication, and psychosocial adaptation within a team. On one end is the possibility of adverse cognitive and behavioral conditions arising as a result of factors associated with human space exploration, and on the other hand, a mental health disorder can develop if adverse cognitive and behavioral conditions are not detected or mitigated. The one major risk that astronauts face is radiation exposure in space. Earth's atmosphere keeps us safe from most harmful radiation. However, in space, astronauts have a higher chance of exposure to this radiation, which can cause radiation sickness or nervous system damage, and can even increase their chances of getting cancer. So radiation exposure can impact the nervous system in multiple ways, including reduced response to incoming stimuli, deficits in learning and memory, anxiety, and changes in social behavior. Trouble sleeping is another risk to astronauts' psychological and cognitive function. An astronaut suffering from poor sleep cycles could not only impact themselves, but also potentially bring danger to the rest of their crew. Factors that can influence poor sleep cycles in orbit are sleep disruptions due to work overload, as well as absence of circadian cues due to lack of light cycles and blue light found in the spaceship. So instead of receiving 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark like on Earth, astronauts on the ISS experience 45 minutes of light followed by 45 minutes of dark, so 16 sunrises and sunsets a day. There was a study, an observational study of astronauts before, during, and after spaceflight that was published in 2014, and it found that 78% of crew members took sleeping pills during shuttle missions. Another factor, adaptation to the changing environment in space, such as microgravity, isolation, and psychosocial dynamics also influence astronauts' psychological well-being. In NASA-funded studies, we see that there's a displacement of tension and negative emotions from crew members to mission control personnel. Additionally, the support role of a commander was significantly and positively related to group cohesion among crew members. There are also positive outcomes from space travel. In a NASA-funded study, we see that astronaut perceptions of Earth were highly positive, and there was a stronger appreciation of Earth's beauty upon return. We see astronauts score higher levels on categories of universalism, which is greater appreciation of other people and nature. This is described as salutogenosis, which is the ability to derive benefit from extreme experiences and environments. As we consider space travel to Mars, there will be additional factors that influence astronauts' psychological well-being and that will need to be continued to study. So communication delays, additional autonomy that astronauts do not currently have when going to the ISS, increased loneliness, higher radiation exposure, and long duration microgravity conditions. So NASA does currently study behavioral health and prepares astronauts, and how it does that is, for example, it collects information after space travel, and one of those are through journal entries, which I show a little bit of data here from one of their reports. Another is through TRISH, which is Translational Research Institute for Space Health. So TRISH and NASA partner together, and TRISH funds cutting-edge research into the behavioral health challenges facing astronauts during deep space exploration missions. And they also aim to create products. And the third is they perform psychological assessments and simulations for astronauts in order to prepare them and also ensure their psychological health prior to a space mission. If you're interested in discussing more about behavioral health or anything about medical devices or med tech, please reach out to me. Thanks.